And I think that's a good piece of advice for most matchups versus Snake. Just make sure you're patient because we know that Snake players are generally pretty patient themselves. So always got to be aware of that. So.
Yeah, this could go either way. I mean, there's so many things that Falco can do in this matchup that just dumpster Snake. Dare is a really big problem. Like Snake, if he goes low at all, like pretty much dead. Back air breaks Cypher and also is like crazy knockback. Like it's, I don't want to call it like a bad matchup, but it's definitely a tough matchup. You know?
Yeah.
Like maybe chaotic even to like 55-45 kind of like area. But that aside, Falco of course. Curse with pretty linear recovery can definitely get bodied off stage pretty easily by Snake as well. So sort of a blessing and a curse. That's really important, being able to crouch lasers. But as you can tell, like the smallest lead possible, and Rinrin's just like, I'm just not going to interact because it's not worth it. Like you will, like Falco will breathe 50 damage on you, like period. Here we go.
Just anything to get started there. I mean, once Falco finds his opening, I mean, it's damage central to start off here. Also,
that's very strong. Good awareness on Rinrin to shield that reflected up smash because that is like, that actually has like scary knockback when I get sent back.
And I'm not sure how much Snake matchup Theedium has, but I know Rinrin plays against Lombardi a lot, so definitely not new to this matchup. Quite the opposite, really. So
now,
probably not going to be caught by a lot of things here.
On the subject of patience, another interaction we just saw is like when Snake has to land, it's like, oh, that was really nice. Up smash out shield. When Snake has to land against Falco, like if Falco just waits, because Snake is either going to like air dodge or B-reverse or do something or nothing. And as long as you wait for whatever that something is, you get like another free punish. This is going to be really big. All right, I actually thought it was going to be a little more, but that's so substantial. Ooh!
Yep. That drop down dare into tilt, or no, fair into tilt, drag down. There we go. Definitely big for Falco's kit here against most characters here.
So this is another problem. So he's got Reflector. He doesn't necessarily like have to commit to it. Rinrin was really smart to have
dash attack to follow up.
Yeah, that was smart too. To go on with that dare. But Snake pretty much has to get the lead and just hold it as long as he possibly can. Like he can't even take the chance of trades. Like they're just generally not going to be in his favor. Ooh, a little bit risky right there on the way back, but super smart play from Theedium. Reflecting the up smash, getting himself back on center stage, and taking the momentum out of Rinrin's hands. See what I mean? He literally just needed to wait. And since we're in best of 5 territory, if Theedium is able to like kind of get a better handle on how Rinrin's going to land, Rinrin's just going to be like kind of rinse repeated, just stuck in the cycle for a while.
So just a lot of adaptation awareness. You know, even if you're not coming away with the wins right away, as long as you're taking those mental notes, that's going to be huge. It's true for a lot of things here. Dash attack to start.
Another thing I will say is that, yes, Falco's Reflector is really, really good in this matchup, but also if Rinrin starts baiting it, like if you're playing like a Falco, a Fox, and Ness or whatever, and like you know they're looking for it, you start getting like Reflector-specific punishes, and I can see that coming into play too. But despite everything I've said in theory, it definitely looks like Rinrin has a pretty big lead right now. Theedium, I think where he's getting tagged is he's kind of like landing on top of his shield, which you don't want to do because that move is there.
Yep. For sure, and I think Rinrin is well aware of his situation right under the platform, and all he had to do is wait for Theedium to react and come down and try to move around, and that's what you get.
I think Theedium just needs to slow the pace down a little bit because Reflector takes a lot of the teeth out of like Snake's camping. And I would say probably start punishing Rinrin's shield a little harder. Because like I know Falco doesn't get everything that they could normally get from just a throw versus like an up tilt or like a falling fair in air. But you can still take Snake out of his comfort zone of holding grenade and shield. Start to throw him, even if you just throw him above you and just force him to start trying to like do landing mix-ups, that's a good battle for you.
Sure. Yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with just being patient. I mean, that gives you a chance to, you know, take a breath. And we know that unless Rinrin's feeling really aggressive one day, he's probably going to stay back as well for a little bit. So take time, play at your own pace, and do what's best for you there.
Rinrin's grenade placement has been really, really good too. Theedium definitely looking a little bit confused on where to go. Who in Kentucky is playing Snake now that I think about it? I feel like there's not
I can't
think of one. No. If there is, I don't know it at least. In Indiana, you have Deus, but like in Kentucky, I literally don't know where they would get this matchup practice.
And I think there's a Sunny also in Indiana plays Snake as well. So.
And Apple, I think.
And Apple, yes, Apple.
Yeah, they're all over there.
Yeah, they got a lot of snakes over there. So I know he's familiar with those guys. So.
Oh, that was a really well placed down tilt from Theedium. That was super smart. Okay, I think Theedium is. I was gonna say they're starting to find a better range to fight in, but you know, up tilt, you know, being 6 frames and that scary, it actually is getting Rinrin's getting a lot of mileage out of it.
But considering where the match started, Theedium I think is definitely moving more momentum his way, going forward here.
See what I mean? Like Theedium is just like a smidge more patient.
Yeah,
they can get bigger punishes. Like that B reverse saved Rinrin, but if Theedium had just like empty hopped and just kind of pressured, you know. But if you go back and watch this free game,
yeah, and I think that's something I know they're not the same character, but from Fox and watching Thas play, how many empty hops he does and how well it generally works out for him, definitely something to take away from that is just how really good empty hops are for spacies in general, just for how they move.
Yeah, all 3 of them actually. You're right. See what I mean? Like Rinrin is like doing a lot of like B reverses and making tricky landings, but by waiting, he's actually kind of just cornered himself. I think the other thing is that like Theedium gets a little bit too aggressive on Rinrin's shield without doing a throw, and that's why they're losing to these like surprise up tilts. But all that aside, it is relatively. There it is.
Big leg.
Yeah.
Catch from quite a while there.
Yeah, Theedium was trying to space with down tilt, which is a good idea, but, you know, if you want to stick something out, oh my gosh, good pressure.
Yeah.
If you want to stick something about against snake up tilt, you know, that's your funeral, you know?
All right. Trying to gain center stage here. I think fair, both at relatively low percentage here. All right, yeah, this is where we slow it down here. Theedium now is definitely taking more time to kind of think about his play here, what he's going to do next, seeing what Rinrin does in these situations.
So I think Rinrin crouching is actually really smart because like you're gonna go under lasers. Down tilt and up tilt are both like viable options if somebody approaches you, and they have completely different hitboxes. So Rinrin has to like deal with one of those and try to like get a shield grab. But like if they stick something out against either one of those moves, I don't think they'll win the trade.
All right, it brings him down, doesn't get anything off of it, but you're starting to see something.
There
Oh,
it is,
it's right into it. Yeah, super aware of that. I know I've been hit by my fair share of C4s in my life. Always hard to manage, especially when Snake's applying the pressure right at the end of, you know, last stock for both players, you know, throwing out the pressure. Got to be super aware of that stuff.
And that's the other thing, too, is that because he was hanging out on that platform, just like waiting on Theedium to react, especially being above it with the C4 like slightly off camera, it was kind of really tough for Theedium to recognize that it was down there and then detonate.
Yeah.
The proper thing to do, if Theedium saw it, would have been to just back off. But, like, the camera work there with the platform actually really worked out in Rinrin's favor.
Yeah, it doesn't help. You know, on some stages it can be really dark to see, and this one not as bad, but still.
Sorry to derail real quick. Did Rinrin win game 2 there?
Yes.
Okay.
Rinrin won game 2. Ooh, this is big. Forced it. Yep. Death. He can't. He's got a C4. Oh, wow.
Almost.
Actually doesn't get high enough to get the C4 recovery, and it's tricky. There's a decent amount of time where like he's calling now, like that itself is 19 frames, and sometimes that little window can get you killed.
Seeing some momentum shift here from Theedium. Pushing out at 88 already on the second stock.
Yeah, this is a huge lead. We're not even a minute in this match just yet.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Not with that. Yeah, no, Theedium taking a lot of initiative right now. Going to try to really capitalize off that first stock. But Rinrin, of course, taking a little bit of capitalization of his own. Oh, back air, not quite.
That was smart positioning, too. Hanging near the C4, but like waiting on him to detonate it. Once again, because it takes so long to detonate it, you do get free punishes for that. If anyone is wondering about like, you know, what do I do about Snake in certain situations, that's a really good one. If you know C4 is there, use it against him. Okay, grenade definitely going to come through.
Trying to get some trades in there. Not sure.
I mean, Theedium's got the stock lead, so.
Yeah, it's. Oh, gonna.
He's so close to figuring it out. He's driving me crazy. Ooh. risky
A lot
stuff.
of pressure there right at the edge. Oh my god. Great edge guard there by Rinrin.
That was really, really good patience. Like, there were some things he could have tried to force, like down smash or up tilt, which would have been big maybes, but just waiting on Falco to jump because Falco's going to jump and putting that up tilt there was crazy smart. Good job not rolling in. Theedium needs to slow things down to make sure that Rinrin doesn't get the momentum back. Yeah, and now
Going
you're
to bait him on the platform there, it looks like.
Ooh, C4 was on that platform. Oh, man. These grenades are not working out in Theedium's favor. Rinrin's getting so much free damage.
Okay.
Wow.
Whew. That had me nervous.
The bravery.
Rinrin.
Rinrin brought this all the way back. C4's there. He's in a pretty comfortable spot. It's going to be hard for... Ooh,
Oh, I was so nervous.
Oh, God. Both players both throwing out their kill moves at the same time. This is so scary. I cannot call this match at all. Yep. Blaze is going to be ineffective because of crouch. Oh,
no, he didn't miss
there!
his helper. Oh, wow. Rinrin, 3. Oh, that was, I thought that was the tilt that was sending up. But no, it was the back air. That was, whew. Wow, great right till the end.
And that's, so with that interaction specifically,